real off-roading is something that you're going to need four-wheel drive low in my personal opinion. You know, just getting your tires off pavement, yeah, that's off-roading. But something that makes you go out and have to drive the vehicle. You know, right now we're sitting at 26 degrees sideways, climbing uphill. You know, this is our little off-camera practice. So you got to know how to drive your vehicle in these, in these conditions. So what is real off-roading? You know, just getting outside doing stuff. But I like doing the little bit harder, more difficult terrain, something that's going to push my truck, push my comfortability.
And go it in.
My name is John Brady. I am the head of recreational off-road training out here at Overland Experts, and I've been driving the Destination MT2s for the past 365 days. Overland Experts is a company that started about 25, 26 years ago by a gentleman named Bruce Elfstrom. We teach mechanical sympathy and precision driving so that when you invest a lot of money in your vehicle, you don't want to go out and thrash it, but you want to use your vehicle to go further. A typical day of testing out here, we go out, myself and another tester, and how it works is I will drive truck A, the tester will drive truck B, we will run that lane, and then we will switch vehicles, so then I will be driving truck B, their tester will be driving truck A, and then we run the same exact course side by side within the same 15-20 minutes of each other. We're comparing side by side with our control tire, and then we compare notes. That's the one thing that allows us to test throughout the day with the change in environmental conditions, is that we are always comparing a tire to our control tire. So even if there is a slight environmental change, we've at least ran our control and the competitor's tires in the same exact environment within the same 20-minute span. Our vehicle platform by choice is a lot of Toyotas, just because of the fact that those are the vehicles that people are going to see overseas. When I get in a test vehicle, I'm feeling for rubber composition. How is it feeling on the rocks as that tire is slipping? If I take a truck up one line and I can get 10 feet up that line with tire A, and then I get tire B and maybe I can only do 5 feet, well, why is that, right? Is it, you know, are the lugs clogging up? I'm just not getting the traction? A lot of times the rubber compound just does not adhere to the soil. That's kind of the stuff that I'm trying to feel in that vehicle. So I'll reach down and just grab like a handful of this stuff here, but you know, this North Carolina mud, you know, like look at how soft that is, and with any disturbance it turns into this liquid, and so you get this gooey mud mixed with this hard clay that turns this all just super slick. You know, so when you're running tires through here with just my hand pressure, how deep that mud goes. So then you put a 5,000 pound truck coming through this mud on here, you really want to have those good tires.
You're not gonna get stuck, are you?
No. I say that with confidence. We'll be good. My initial impression of the Destination MT2s comes from a background of growing up running BFGs on all our trucks. Growing up in Northern California, that was kind of the gold standard, was running BF Goodrichs. If you drove a Toyota, you were running BF Goodrichs. You wanted to go sling mud, you're running BF Goodrichs. All-terrain tires on F-150s, like that's the staple that we ran. Tires are a huge investment, and you know, the first initial impression when you're looking at tires is going to be the visual aspect of it. And so when I saw the Destination MT2s, I wasn't as visually wowed by them. Now, everything I put on my truck is for a reason. I put things on there not so much for looks as I do performance, because that's what I build my truck for, to go further than everyone else. And when I came out here and was running the Destination MT2s alongside other competitors that were out here, I was actually blown away by how well they performed. All right. Overall, my impressions of the MT2 in this terrain and the testing that we did, I was actually surprised. I try to go into things with an open mind, but being able to drive the MT2s against other tires within minutes of each other on a test on the same exact terrain, and watching how well the MT2s would, grip or expel mud and things like that, I was really overall impressed for, coming in here thinking like, oh, okay, just another mud tire, but running it side by side with other tires, I was really impressed by it. At this point, I've had the tires on my truck for a year now. Everything that I felt during the testing, and everything I said in that interview is exactly how I still feel to this day. I was really anxious to see what the long term of these tires was going to be. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna track all my miles for the entire year that I do off-road and on-road. I drive a lot. I drive this truck a lot of places. I drive it cross country. I go all over. So last year we wanted to go visit family out on the West Coast, and I was really curious about how the Destination MT2s were gonna handle the longevity, the lot of miles on there. So Kyle and I started on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and we drove all the way out to Seaside, Oregon. It was 2,771 miles we drove out there. We visited cousins in Colorado while we were out there, visited family in Idaho, as well as out in Oregon. It was a great opportunity for me and my daughter just to have some, father-daughter bonding time from, seeing what we could see along the way. We stopped at, some great overlooks, out in Idaho. We saw Twin Falls. We watched people skydive off the bridge into the Snake River. We saw antelope, running through, Kansas and the giant windmills, things like that. It's a great way to let my kids know there's so much out there in the world to go see. And so even though we're trying to get from point A to point B, I'm always, trying to find somewhere to just pull over and take in this great country of ours that we have. So, you can take a product and test it in a controlled environment and be like, oh, it's amazing. But what is that long term going to be? And that's what I was really curious about. And wow, 365 days later, I am absolutely blown away by these tires. 31,000 something miles in 1 year, did 1,300 off-road miles, and I've put them through everything that I can put them through, that my truck is kind of built for, and they've just handled, and they've just been amazing. The whole experience itself has really converted me over into being on the Firestone brand of tire. From the people to the tire and how much care you guys put into the whole package. So yeah, really, really absolutely blown away by the tires.